morning, Agents of Nothing, and welcome to our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. We are your commanding officers. I'm Mariah.
And I'm Caroline.
And today we're going to be talking about Season 5, Episode 21, The Force of Gravity.
Yeah. So, Mariah, how was your week?
It was really good. It is release week, so, for anyone who doesn't know, obviously I'm talking about Taylor Swift.
Obviously.
As of right now, as of recording, it is release night. So by the time you hear this, we will probably have several new favorite Taylor Swift songs.
Probably. And we'll probably have listened to it many times.
Many times. And in my case, I probably will have watched many reaction videos to it.
Probably.
Because that's my thing for some reason.
You like watching other people's reactions.
Yeah, I'm like, that was a good part, huh?
That's funny. No, that makes sense. I think, because sometimes other people will react to things that I didn't notice. And I'll be like, oh, you know what? That makes me think about it differently. And then sometimes they react the same way that I did, and I feel validated.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite genre of reaction videos is men realizing Taylor Swift makes good music. I've watched more series than I care to admit. And by the end, they're always Swifties.
Always. Because if you're actually paying attention, it's good fucking music.
And also, anyways,
yeah.
It's almost our email episode.
Woo!
Can you guys believe that?
Wow.
So...
Can you guys believe that?
Shut up.
Sorry. No, leave it in. I love it.
Anyways, email us.
What's our email?
Our email is agentsofnothingpodcast@gmail.com.
We would love to hear from you.
Yes. So Caroline, how was your week?
My week has been good. I've been very tired, and I think because of that, I slept weird on my neck the other night, and so it was like starting to be sore last night, and then when I woke up today, I just like couldn't turn my head. So I just feel like I turned 30 and then like the geriatricity just hit, you know? And so here we are.
Here we are
at one point
30.
I took some ibuprofen and then I drank some coffee, and I think like the warmth of the coffee was kind of nice on my neck, but I was able to like turn my head to look at my coworker, and I was like, look how far I'm turning my head right now.
That's the oldest you've ever sounded.
It was, yeah. So.
Yeah, I was telling Caroline off mic that I've been having like elbow problems from work because I'm lifting like packs of 40 bottles of water every day.
Yeah.
Multiple times a day usually.
Getting swollen.
No, seriously, and like usually like high above me. Like I have to lift it like to stack them on top of the other in the trunk of a car sometimes.
That's crazy.
But my point being, I'm having elbow problems, and regardless of how heavy those things are, this is not a problem I would have had even 5 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
I would have just been like,
Age.
oh, my arms are kind of sore.
Yeah, right. And now you're like, oh, I can't fucking lift a coffee cup.
Oh, I can't straighten my arm. Oh, ow. Oh.
Oh my god. Aging is a privilege, guys. We embrace it. Maybe. Anyway, now that we're done complaining,
I need water
about
after all
being
that
alive.
Laughing.
I'll just copy you.
Stay hydrated.
Or die.
Literally.
Okay, let's start this episode.
Let's start the episode. So this episode was written by Drew Z. Greenberg and Craig Titley.
Mr.
And
Titley.
Directed by Mr. Titley. Not directed by Mr. Titley, but directed by Kevin Tancharoen.
Love it.
Which I feel like retroactively you can tell.
Yeah.
A lot of fight scenes.
Yeah.
And the original title, and I hope I don't butcher this, y'all. I was homeschooled, and for like the second half of high school, I was mostly kind of teaching myself.
You got this. I believe in you.
The original title, F equals G M1 times M2 /D2. Did I do it?
Divided by D2.
Oh, divided by D2. I was so close. Was the formula for Isaac Newton's equation for gravity.
That would have been an insane thing to name it. That's like,
I would have struggled so hard.
Yeah. That's like Elon Musk naming his child. Like, this is stupid.
Yeah, before the air date, the title was renamed The Force of Gravity.
A much better name.
Yeah.
And the same thing. Anyway.
Yep.
That is a fun fact, though. I liked it.
Yeah. It's good to know these things.
Yeah. So we don't meet any new characters. We're locked in. We have our set cast.
I feel like we finally found out the name of the new agent.
Oh yeah.
Kim.
And then
just in time for him to die.
Anyway, okay. So we open. Daisy wakes up on the floor of the meeting place that we've seen before, alone with Cassius Sr. He says that he knows about the inhuman experiments, quote, and that her kind haven't been treated very well by humans. And so, he's gonna treat her better, obviously.
As his slave.
Yes. I wonder if he's thinking, oh, humans don't treat you well as a slave, so I'm going to treat you better as a slave. Which is an insane way to think, but okay, I guess. And then she's like, hey, where are my friends? What did you do to the people that I came here with? And he was like, don't worry about them. They're your past. I'm your future. Wonderful. That's great news.
Just what a girl wants to hear.
Exactly. That is what a girl wants, what a girl needs. Whatever makes you happy sets me free.
Yeah.
That's not who we're supposed to be quoting today.
No.
God damn it. Anyway. Speaking of May and Coulson, they are being put into the, alien cell by Kovas for their, quote, disrespect. I love when disagreement is treated as disrespect. That's just my favorite thing, and it doesn't trigger me at all. Coulson says he's not concerned. Kovas is just the villain of the month. Which is true. Kovas asks, oh, and how do you plan to stop me? Probably not by telling you the fucking plan. That's not part of it. And then he talks shit about how humans have to use guns and weapons and stuff, and that's like the coward's way. But then he's like, if you try to fight back with, because they took all their weapons, so he was like, if you try to fight back without weapons, then we're gonna use the weapons that we do have, the fucking missiles on our ship, and they're pointed directly at your base. And I'm just like,
I forgot about the missiles.
Yeah, I was like, you hate weapons so much, why do you have them? They're the coward's way. Whatever.
Damn, take them out with your claws.
Yeah, come on.
Like real Remoraths.
I did not know that those were claws, by the way. I thought that they were like knives or whatever. I was like, why is, when May was trying to like take it off of the guy's hand, I was like, what's happening? Why is it taking so long?
See, I knew that like Deke had said that they have claws. And like I want to say it was like foot-long claws or something like that. But I didn't think that it would be only two.
Right.
I didn't think that it would be one on each hand. So it wasn't registering to me that those were the claws until she tried to rip them off.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. They're kind of like, in Supernatural, wraiths have just like one long claw that like comes out of their wrist for some reason. And that's what it made me think of. Anyway, okay. So back at the lighthouse, Fitzsimmons are like starting to look at Jia Ying's bones, but ultimately feel a little too weird about it to just like jump right in to dissecting her or whatever, which is valid. So instead, they look at the animation of the centipede serum again, and they like run a couple of virtual tests, and Simmons says that theoretically it should work to heal Coulson, but she's concerned about Yo-Yo's warning that trying to save Coulson would lead to the end of the world. And Fitz is having a bit of a revelation, or maybe just trying to justify saving his friend. Yeah. And he thinks, what if trying and failing to save Coulson is what leads to the end of the world? Because then he's not there to, like, help with the end of the world. So what if they try and succeed? Maybe trying to save Coulson leads to the end of the world, but actually saving Coulson saves the world. Of course. That's quite the mental gymnastics Fitz is like, he was doing.
I am smarter than myself, actually.
I loved it. I love mental gymnastics.
It's my favorite sport. So we have a goof. Jia Ying's body is only a skeleton, despite the passage of only 3 years since her death. Even assuming she wasn't embalmed, a corpse interred in a coffin would take a decade or longer for the soft tissue to decompose.
What if hers doesn't take as long because she's inhuman? We don't know anything about the Inhumans.
Yeah, and also, like, who's to say that she was in a coffin?
It's true.
She could have been in a wicker basket.
She
could have been in a linen cloth.
Yep. They didn't show us any of that. They just showed us a grave. Fuck you, goofs. You gotta think here, buddy.
Get your head out of your ass. Why did I say that like a disgruntled New Yorker?
I love it. Okay, moving on. So, Deke is listening to Davis's Ada story and says it's the most incredible story he's ever heard. And I'm the same age as my grandparents.
So Deke mentions being the same age as his grandparents, Fitz and Simmons.
Yes.
In real life, Jeff Ward is actually a year minus a day older than Ian DeCasticker and 9 months older than Elizabeth Henstridge.
You know what I would call
Elizabeth Henstridge.
I'd call that about the same age.
Yeah, it's about the same age. That wasn't under goofs. And I feel like it should have been.
Just so that we could say it's not a goof.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't trying to prove it wrong. They just were like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He is the same age.
Yeah. Maybe we're just reading it wrong. Maybe we're the aggressive ones.
We're just being a little defensive here. I love that Davis is getting to tell his story to so many people, and everybody's so impressed by him.
I know.
I want to hear him tell it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the two of them and Agent Kim finish whatever electrical thing they were fixing, and then they hear a weird noise. Kim steps up to the front, gun drawn, and is then quickly pulled out of the plane by gravity. So Davis and Deke hide and watch Talbot and his new Remorath friends board the Zephyr and head toward the Quinjets like they own the fucking place. And I loved how Talbot was like, I've spent a lot of time on this plane or whatever. They're over here, or like, I know where the Quinjets are, or something like that. It's like,
yeah,
you know where they are. That doesn't mean they belong to you, motherfucker. Anyway, so Deke immediately calls Mac in the lighthouse to let him know. Mac is watching the world going to shit on the news, and he's starting to think that the warnings that they got were right. This is what convinced you?
Yeah. I feel like we've come pretty far since you should have come to that conclusion.
Yeah, we're a little past that.
So the damage left after the battle between the children of Thanos and Iron Man and Doctor Strange is mentioned and seen on WHIH news broadcasts.
Wow. There's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So Deke is like watching the Zephyr screen showing the Quinjet leaving, and so he's like kind of narrating to Mac that Talbot's taking the Quinjet and going, most likely to come back to Earth. And then Talbot says he doesn't need a jet to fly, just to breathe, which is a horrifying statement.
And he's just using his powers to pilot the jet.
Right.
Like,
so he doesn't have to turn it on.
In the vacuum of space.
Yeah. That's like horrible.
That's terrifying. That's so scary.
And Mac and Yo-Yo are realizing that they can't track the Quinjet because it's not on, but then Mac can like force it to turn on, which is very convenient. So then like kind of both sides have the element of surprise and also don't. I don't know. Part of me was like, why even make this like a thing that he doesn't have to turn it on if Mac is like, well, but we already know that he's moving and I can turn it on without him knowing. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway. So, Coulson feels guilty for Talbot's situation, and he doesn't want to accept that he might have to kill the man, his friend. May says that May is like saying all the right things about how it's not Coulson's fault nor his responsibility to save Talbot. All the things that Talbot went through, like, they didn't cause it, and they were like a little fucking busy, and couldn't have saved him even if they had known what was going on. And they didn't ask Talbot to jump in and save them, or jump into the gravitonium machine. Like, he made these decisions, and it's not on Coulson to, like, save him from his own decisions, if that makes sense. But they both agree that things evolve, people change, and yet they're not agreeing because they're talking about different things here. But then Coulson gets uncomfortable and he goes back to X-ray scanning the ship with his bionic arm.
Yeah, that things change, people change. That didn't sound like they were talking about Talbot.
No. So when Talbot gets back to Earth, his first stop is to pay a visit to Creel. Oh no. Poor Creel. He's like, he finally got out of all this shit, and then he just keeps getting dragged right back in.
I know.
Talbot starts off saying he knows how Creel is feeling right now because he's been there too. Brainwashed and in pain in a hospital bed. But then he says that they are stronger together. And now I'm terrified that Talbot's going to absorb Creel, which he did. Creel is confused. He's suspicious. I'm suspicious. And Talbot asks if Creel still hears the gravitonium voices, and he does. So So Talbot offers to control them, to silence them for good. Of course, he manages to leave out how he's going to do that, obviously. Back in space, Senor Casillas tells Daisy that he's going to use her and her strength for his own wishes, as his, quote, disciple. Daisy rolls her eyes and makes a couple quips about his family and their god complexes. And he says that he'll have more appreciation for her strength than other humans would. But Daisy explains that even though humans fight and disagree, it's not with the same kind of disrespect that he has for them. So, like, maybe leave us alone. And finally, he tells her that she'll be coming with him, willingly or not. Daisy chooses not, but then finds that she can't quake him. So then she panics. Checking for an inhibitor, made my heart drop. But Casillas simply says that she's not conscious yet. And he didn't want to take any chances bringing her to him before she was, quote, properly broken in, which is a disgusting way to say that. I hated it.
Yeah. Ew.
Ew. So Fitzsimmons are starting to believe the centipede serum could actually work for Coulson. Mac interrupts them quickly to tell them about Talbot, and he asks them to figure out a way to reverse the gravitonium machine, and quickly. Fitz refuses to look at Mac. They're still very upset with each other. And he makes a comment under his breath about, yet another thing that needs fixing. So Mac kind of, looks at him and then just turns back to Simmons, who says that they'll get started on it right away. So then Mac leaves, and then Fitzsimmons give each other a look, and Fitz is like, don't worry about it. We'll work it out. Which I do love. Like, so much was said with that one look.
Yeah.
So, May and Coulson find, like, a circuit board in the wall next to the door and assume that it's the lock, and that Coulson can short-circuit it with his bionic hand. But before he can even try, Deke opens the door, breathing heavy from taking out the Ramorath guards. Also, sorry, Deke is just a fucking superhero. Like, he fought his way through God knows how many of these guards single-handedly. That's very impressive. So, then he updates them on Talbot, and they update him on Daisy, and that they need to find her next before they can leave. Talbot finally convinces Creel to trust him to help with the voices. So Carl takes Talbot's hand and then, like, becomes Gravitonium, which this really broke my heart because he says that he finally feels at peace and, like, not painful. The voices are gone. He finally just is able to, like, relax for just a moment because he trusted Talbot.
Yeah.
And then immediately is, like, in pain again because he feels Talbot start absorbing him. And Talbot going, like, this part won't be pleasant for you, but 2 is stronger than 1. And it's like, who decided that the 1 had to be you, you know?
Yeah.
That's gross. I don't like it.
So this is the final appearance of Brian Patrick Wade as Carl Creel.
As Mac. Just kidding. I'll never forget you. So Mac and, speaking of, Mac and Yo-Yo watch from the hospital camera feed as Creel gets absorbed into Talbot. And Mac thinks back on how he first met Creel when Creel killed Agent Hartley. Mac thought that he would never forgive him. But Mac says that once Creel was, like, deprogrammed and they got to know each other as individuals, he believes that Creel was actually a good man at heart. And Yo-Yo looks at Mac and says that he has an amazing capacity to forgive people. Which was a little funny. Her being like, wow, babe, you're, like, so good at forgiving people. You know how you're, like, really mad at me? But you're so good at forgiving people. That's just, like, you're just, like, so good at it. You're, like, the best forgiver in the world. But they both agree that Talbot needs to be stopped. Max stops Yo-Yo, though, and says that if it turns out that Talbot needs to be stopped permanently, then he's the one that's going to kill him, not Yo-Yo. Which is interesting. And he's just, like, still kind of looking out for her soul, I guess.
Yeah. It is fair. It's a fair thing to want to control, but it came off as a little controlling to me.
Yes. Yeah, no, it was a little, I was like, that's a weird thing to say, yeah, honestly. Because at the end of the day, like, whoever has the shot takes the shot.
Yeah. I understand that Mac doesn't like violence and that he's tried to quit multiple times.
Right.
But I really think he might be in the wrong field.
This is really not the right career for him. And to be fair, he was only ever supposed to be a mechanic anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Cassius is still fucking yapping about how sure he is of the future and Daisy being his slave and everything. And Daisy's like, I can see the future too. And the fact that you have two bitch-ass sons with dumber makeup than you who both die cowards' deaths being stabbed in the back. And when I get out of this, which I will, you're gonna do the same. I loved her little speech there. And then she fucking, like, just with sheer willpower breaks the thing that's, like, keeping her asleep. And so then she just, like, KOs every single Kree guard carrying her within seconds. This is, it like, the most badass thing that's ever happened on television. I loved it so much.
I was screaming, like, when this first aired. And, like, this is such a good episode. Like, this is one of, like, the all-timers, I feel like.
Excellent. It's an excellent
And, like, I remember that moment and seeing it for the first time so clearly.
So good.
And, like, all the gift sets that were on Tumblr.
Yes. I love that she, like, threw in the little, the makeup thing.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm actually gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna tear you down emotionally.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fitz has no ideas on how to reverse the gravitonium in Talbot. But Simmons has finished with the centipede serum for Coulson, so they just have to wait a couple of days for it to be ready. This is good news. They reminisce on how the centipede serum was part of their first mission and how they've come full circle just before the end of days. What an excellent storytelling, foreshadowing kind of thing. I love it. And then Simmons has an idea about if they absolutely need to kill Talbot, they could use the odium, put it into the centipede serum so that it would deliver it straight into Talbot's cells, which would be pretty rough probably and pretty excruciating. And I feel like they're a little bit shocked that they even came up with this idea. And they certainly have come a long way since the first mission.
Yeah.
So Deke, Coulson, and May are trying to, like, make their way through the Remorath ship, but none of them can read the language on the walls. Even Deke, who grew up around it. He says that he only knows numbers 0 through 5, because it's not like they teach the language to the humans, obviously.
I just thought it was so funny, like, Deke rolling his head around like a bobblehead while he's chewing them out.
So good. I love when it gets all sassy. But then just before they have to fight their way through a couple more Remorath, Daisy quakes them out of the way, and they are reunited, and it feels so good.
I thought that it was so cute, Deke trying to act all nonchalant. He was like, Daisy, are you okay? Did they hurt you or whatever?
I'm obsessed. I love when people are in love with Daisy.
Especially when it's the comic relief.
Yes.
It's so good.
So good. So Mac and Yo-Yo are trying to think like Talbot to get to, like, the base of his motives. Before he went into the gravitonium machine, he kept saying, I can fix this. So what did he want to fix most? His relationship with his son. And, oh boy, Talbot shows up unannounced to his wife's house, and he greets George alone at the door, which I thought that he was just gonna, like, take him, and I was very scared for a second. But he just comes in and talks. So George and Carla are both pretty scared and surprised to see him, obviously. But George gets excited as Glenn tells him that he's a superhero now and he can, like, move buildings and fly. And he'll even take George flying, too.
So when Talbot explains his new powers to his son, he says, I can even fly. Adrian Pasdar portrayed the character Nathan Petrelli in Heroes, who also had the ability to fly.
He's an old pro.
Yeah. He's got flying experience.
Yeah. So Carla asks George to go upstairs for a minute so that she and Glenn can talk. But she accidentally mentions S.H.I.E.L.D., and Talbot quickly loses his cool before George can go anywhere, and he ends up pinning Carla against the wall, only terrifying George even more. Jesus Christ.
God.
This poor child.
I know. And the fact that, like, you only really start to make memories. Well, I don't know how old he is. But, like, I feel like I don't remember much before I was, like, 10. So,
yeah,
like,
I have, like, some kind of flashes of, like, earlier memories, but for the most part, like, you're not really aware of the world until a little bit later.
Yeah, and so I feel like, you know, like, he might have, like, flashes of nice times with his dad, but, like, ultimately I feel like this is what he's gonna remember.
Yeah. And, like,
of his childhood, you know? Like...
Right. And even before this, like, his dad was sick and, like, had brain damage, and so a lot of what he was remembering from like the last memories he had of his dad were of him, like, snapping at him or being like being angry super quickly and like and I mean
scary.
That in itself is traumatizing. And then to have this be like the very next, like, he just disappears for, 6 months to a year, and then he comes back and he's this, and he's hurting your mom. Yeah. That's horrible. So back on the ship, Kovas is super pissed that all his soldiers keep ending up dead. So he tells another one to go capture Daisy for Casillas and to kill the rest with their own weapons. Of which they have none, because he took all of the weapons. I don't even understand what he's talking about here. He's, like, obsessed with human weapons. But also, like, if everybody else that has tried to capture Daisy has ended up dead, what do you think is going to happen if you send one more?
She's too powerful, dude. She's, like, borderline OP.
Yeah. Anyway, so May tells Coulson to take Daisy and get to the Zephyr so that they can go home, and then she and Deke will reset the coordinates of the missiles elsewhere. Initially, Coulson refuses, and they start bickering. So Daisy and Deke go take care of a rogue Remorath, and then Coulson throws up a shield against another one, while he and May just make out behind it. And it keeps going for so long enough for Daisy to fight the other Remorath, come back, gawk at them for a second, and then take out the other Remorath and come back.
So many gift sets of that scene.
I can imagine. I could see it. That was so funny. And then the kiss ends and Coulson's like, I thought that might shut you up. And you know what? I'm tired of this. We can stop with the least romantic phrase of all time now. I know May said it to him before, and so it's just a callback, but I don't like it. We can say nicer things to each other, actually. I'm just saying, if I kiss somebody, or somebody kissed me and then they said, I thought that might shut you up. We're never kissing again, actually.
Yeah.
Now I'm pissed off. Anyway, so the team splits up and Coulson goes, not a word, Agent Johnson. And she says, whatever you say, hot lips.
I remember gift sets of that too.
So good. So back on Earth, George begs his dad to put his mom down, but Talbot says that he can't because she's against him now. She says, no, I'm on your side. I love you. She said she didn't know that she was brainwashing him because Hydra lied to her, obviously. They lie to everyone. And she was only ever trying to help him. But he refuses to believe it. He says the only way that he can trust her now is if she's part of him. Which is disgusting. But before he can absorb her, S.H.I.E.L.D. arrives outside. So Talbot goes out there, and then he, lifts their SUVs into the air and throws them back onto the ground again. So the rest of the S.H.I.E.L.D. team starts shooting. Although Mac and Yo-Yo do not. But the bullets just, start flying around Talbot like a swarm of bees until he flings them back at the team. This is going to be so much harder than they thought. Back up in space, Deke surprises the Remorath in the control room, and then he and May take them out together, which is wonderful.
Deke is such great comic relief, especially before a really intense fight scene.
Totally. I love it.
He just walks in and he's like, hey, do you guys know where the little boy's room is? Or something like that.
Yeah, right. And then he's like, never mind, I'll just find a corner somewhere.
Yeah.
So once they're dead, May rips their claws out of their cold, dead hands. This is where I was confused because I thought that they were just blades. And so I was like, oh, they just hold on to them really tightly, I guess.
Even in death.
Even in death. And Deke tries to find the missile coordinates. He does take a copy of the navigation maps while he's at it too. I assume that will come in handy later. But then May says that they're actually not deactivating the missiles, they're just reassigning them. Which I thought that that's what we were doing anyway. But, whatever. Are we sending them to Cassius or Talbot? Who knows? I know. We know now.
Yeah.
Talbot continues his villain speech, and George bravely cuts him off. He walks outside behind his dad, and he says, you're not a hero, you're a villain. And Glenn tries to convince him that S.H.I.E.L.D. are the bad guys. They're trying to stop him, and he just needs to show them that he's the one that will save them. He's gonna do that by killing them, I guess? Sure. So he tells George that he just needs a little more fuel, but to keep watching the news, and he'll prove that he's a good guy. And then he flies away. And George is such a brave kid. Honestly, before all of this, Talbot actually must have been a pretty good dad. Because for this kid to feel confident enough to speak up against what he knows is wrong, even though that's his dad, and his dad is very scary right now. That's a good kid.
Yeah. A good kid that's gonna need a lot of therapy.
Yes. So much. Put him in therapy immediately, Carla.
Yes.
If he's not already, Jesus.
No, truly. Because, like, even before the brain damage thing, like, there was one point he got kidnapped by Hydra.
Right. Yeah.
He was probably too young to remember that, but...
We hope.
You never know. Traumatic memories have a way of sticking around.
It's true. Sometimes, even if you don't remember them, it's just, like, in your body.
Yeah.
Oh, George. Okay, so Coulson and Daisy get back to the Zephyr, and they find Davis just in time to save him from the Remora that's been crawling around. Deke is trying to explain the alien numbers to May so that she can put in the new coordinates, but he doesn't know how to say them, so he just, like, is describing what they look like, which was very funny. But they're interrupted by Kovas. He and May are gonna go head to head, baby. And while they are sword fighting, Deke, like, ducks around the blades to go back and forth to keep entering the coordinates, which was also very funny. I liked that a lot.
I could never. Oh my god, my memory is so bad. And I mean, Deke's memory obviously was pretty bad too, because he, at one point, like, screams and goes like, "Damn it!"
So good. So as they get the Zephyr airborne again, Daisy finally gets a chance to bring up Coulson making out with May, and he nonchalantly agrees that it happened. And Daisy asks how he thinks May's doing on the ship, and he says she's probably having the time of her life. And to be fair, like, yeah, she's been kind of limited this season, because, like, she was injured when they first went to space, and it, like, has taken her so long to heal, and she has been itching for a fight the whole time.
Yeah.
So it is about time that she gets to, like, unleash. Deke finally manages to get the coordinates right, so May finishes up the fight. Kovas doesn't realize that they've changed the coordinates, so he naively launches the missiles, thinking he's done something. But as they reach for the teleportation machine, they tell him what they did, and that the missiles are coming straight here. And he's like, "How?" And Deke goes, "I know zero, bitch." I think I added the bitch, but it's necessary.
You did add the bitch, but it is necessary.
It was implied. The implied bitch.
It would have been so funny if they had Deke say, like, "I know zero, biatch," and, like, mirroring, like, the science biatch that Fitz said in like season 2 or something.
That would have been pretty good. Kevin, what are you doing?
Hire me.
I'll tell you where to put all the bitches. So Coulson and Daisy watch the Remorath ship blow up, and they quickly pull up the video feed with Simmons, just as May and Deke run on screen, safe and sound. Simmons tells them that Yo-Yo and Mac are on the way back from going after Talbot, and she'll brief them more once she has more details. Coulson is realizing that Talbot is more dangerous and delusional than he realized. But before he can finish his thought, Daisy realizes how badly Coulson's hand is bleeding. They thought that it was just a small cut, but it's like turning purple, and then Coulson passes out. And I should have known, because every time that he and May make a move on each other, one of them dies or gets turned into a robot or something. Like, it's ridiculous. So then, like, was the Remorath claw poisoned or something? We don't know. Does he have, like, alien dysentery? So we get Simmons back home, or we get Coulson back home, and Simmons is explaining that he's not dying yet, but his condition is worsening and accelerating. So they don't have much time, but the serum isn't ready yet. And after Fitz explains their thoughts on stopping Talbot with the centipede serum odium combo, Daisy then explains that the centipede serum that she brought back is the very last of it. There is no more anywhere on Earth. So now they have to choose between saving Coulson or saving the world. This is exactly what future Yo-Yo warned them about. There was no, there actually is no trying versus succeeding in saving Coulson. It's actually just a choice. So,
yeah,
that fucking sucks. I feel a lot of feelings. Okay. So now it's time for the post-content content! That feels so strange now that I have roommates and I know that they can hear me.
I know. That's how I felt after I moved in with my mom.
Yeah. So Talbot has Polly, Robin, and several Remorath on his Quinjet. He asks Robin if she has ever seen him tear the world apart to pull something up from the ground. Robin ominously nods yes, and he says, "Good. Now, where?" Talbot, you're gonna ruin everything. Oh my god.
What's gonna happen?
I hate this. I hate it. Oh, this episode gave me a stomachache.
Oh, only one episode left of this season, dude.
I can't believe it. We're like zooming through this. I'm really excited for the listener emails, though.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear what you guys have been saying. Because we've been on this season for a while, because this season was when we started doing every other week. So it's been a while since I've heard from you guys.
Was it this season? Has it only been that long?
I think so.
Huh. I have no concept of time, so it could be.
It's been a while, for sure.
Yeah. This might be, like, at the very least, the first full season.
Yeah, for sure. But, anyway.
I want to say ominously.
Oh, no.
That I just remembered something that happens in the next episode, and my stomach literally dropped.
No, why would you do this to me? Oh, I hate you.
You love me, bitch.
I love you, bitch.
So that concludes our episode on Season 5, Episode 21, The Force of Gravity.
Woohoo!
Next time, we'll be covering Season 5, Episode 22, The End, so stay tuned for that.
Okay, bye!
Bye, love you!